Hey, so I love Black Clover so much, and I got so hyped from the most recent episode, number 158 of the anime, that I figured that I would make this video explaining all of Asta's powers up to this point in the anime. Things have progressed a bit in the manga, but I will only be talking about the anime in this video. We know that he has those three swords, right? Demon Slayer sword, Demon Dweller sword, and Demon Destroyer sword. Let me go over quickly what all three of those can do. First off, all three of course have anti-magic properties because of the anti-magic devil in Asta's grimoire. So they can all erase any magic upon contact immediately. They all have that ability. But each of those swords also has a unique ability. The first is the Demon Slayer's ability to reflect magic and spells. Basically, if Asta hits some spell with the flat side of the sword, instead of trying to cut it, if he tries to basically slap it with the flat side of the sword, he can actually reflect magic if it's some kind of projectile. It's really useful because that basically beats any magical projectile that's smaller than the sword, probably even some that are a bit bigger, because Asta can hit pretty hard. I do have to say, Asta, according to the original author himself, Yuki Tabata, Asta is officially the second physically strongest character in the entire Black Clover universe, only behind Yami. And of course Yami is number one, of course he is. Now, the Demon Dweller sword has the ability to take in magic and use it as an attack or projectile. We saw this first very early in the series, when Asta used Noel's magic to shoot a projectile at Mars. But Asta in the previous episode 157, and we see him do it in this episode as well, he has learned to use the anti-magic that his devil has as a substitute that he can store in the Demon Dweller sword and then later fire off. And that is... So let me explain how broken this is. This basically is what he named the Black Slash. He called it the Black Slash in this episode, that's its name. That attack that he uses where he shoots out magic from the Demon Dweller sword. That Black Slash, that is anti-magic. And of course, we all know anti-magic just erases magic. Erases any magic that it touches. So, this is an anti-magic projectile that he can shoot incredibly quickly. And it can't be stopped by magic because it's anti-magic. It just erases any magic that it touches. So you can't stop it. You can't stop it with magic unless you give it like enough magic to actually like use up all of the anti-magic that's in the projectile. Do you know how broken that is? Do you know how broken that is? You basically can't defend against it, and it's a super fast, super big projectile. This is what we've always wanted. We knew as soon as we learned what anti-magic is, how could it not be broken? It just beats magic? How could it not be broken? And now we're finally seeing that, like, this is what we've been waiting for. This is what everything's been building up to. Asta's finally climbing higher, getting more potential out of this. And I have to stress, Asta's biggest weakness before this episode, before this time skip, was the fact that he could only hurt opponents by physically getting close to them and hitting them with his swords. That was the only way he could fight. And that was his biggest weakness, because that left him open in two very big fronts. That left him with two ways to be beaten. One is for an opponent to be better at close quarters combat than him, which is less likely, though not impossible. It is less likely because, again, Asta is the second physically strongest character in the universe. But there could still be people who are more coordinated than him, who could outdo him. And the second way, which is far more common, is for opponents to just attack him from a distance. They can just shoot these projectiles at him or do some kind of area effect, like some kind of like poison cloud or something. Like he can slice through it, but he can't really retaliate because that's not like some projectile he can just hit back at his opponent. It's this cloud of poison that's just in the air, and you can't really do anything about that. Again, you can slice through it, you can maybe cancel through it if you hit it, if you swing your sword around enough, but that won't let you retaliate. And that's just an example. Or if an opponent could shoot enough projectiles to actually overwhelm him, where he can't just like hit all of them back or swing his sword fast enough to actually reflect all of them, because the Demon Slayer sword is pretty big and he is pretty strong, but if someone could just shoot a bunch of projectiles at him, it could overwhelm him. He can't really like hit all of them back. And especially if they're just covering this huge area around him, they won't necessarily be shot directly at him. They could be shot at him, next to him, behind him, everywhere. What's he gonna do about that? But now he has a countermeasure. Now he has this projectile that can hit them before they hit him. He doesn't have to close that gap initially. He has a way to threaten his opponents from a distance without chucking one of his swords at him. And now he has one less sword because he only has 3 of them. This is huge for Asta. This alone skyrockets his potential. Shooting into outer space, he has so much potential. He is going to become a monster. He already is a bit of a monster. He's like a mini Yami right now. You saw him in this episode flying around, shooting projectiles. He's a mini Yami. And we'll see more of that later. Let me tell you, we're gonna see more of that later. And finally, there's the Demon Destroyer Sword, which specifically can erase and absorb the effects of magic. Now this is different from erasing magic itself because, well, there's a really good example of it during the Elf arc, where his home village, right, was attacked by this poison magic user who was poisoning everybody. Like, what are you supposed to do? The magic is already gone. The magic, it's gone. Its effect is already there. The poison itself is not magic, so you can't erase it with anti-magic. So what are you supposed to do? You get the Demon Destroyer Sword because it erases the effects of magic, and that poison is an effect of the magic. So he can just suck out all the poison. And he also does it in this episode on himself. And some people might be confused, like, oh, wasn't there that one time when he was fighting that guy with all the cursed zombies with that magic, and he had to slice himself with his swords to get rid of the curse that was on him, right? But that's different, because that wasn't an effect of magic, that was the cursed magic constantly lingering on his body. The magic didn't like disappear and leave some like infection that's eating away at his flesh that's causing him to bleed. No, the magic is still there on his body that's causing him to keep bleeding. It's the magic that's still there that's doing it. So he can use the anti-magic to get rid of that. And that's a different case. With all 3 of these swords, he basically has an answer for any type of magical opponent or any magical obstacle that could get in his way. Anything that could possibly go wrong when he's going against some magic foe or anything. He's got it covered. He gets hit by something with lasting effects, Demon Destroyer Sword. Just get rid of anything that's happening. Suck it out or just erase it. Someone's trying to keep their distance, you got the Demon Dweller Sword. Shoot out your anti-magic or someone else's magic if it has a good affinity or something. Though you could just use anti-magic and it'll be pretty good. He can always have that anti-magic loaded into that Demon Dweller Sword. He can have it ready at any time to just shoot out, which is really, really useful. Or someone's using some big magic armor, really tough defenses, you can't break through it. Get the Demon Slayer Sword, big ass sword, cut through that shit. Get that out of here. You can't use defensive magic against him. You can't not use defensive magic against Asta. He will slice through it immediately. He doesn't care about defenses. And that's what makes him so powerful. He doesn't care about defensive magic. It doesn't matter. You can just slice through it, erase it. It doesn't matter. It's gone. It doesn't matter. He can't even see it. It doesn't affect him. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, he can also now use his Demon Slayer Sword to fly. Basically, what he's doing is using the flow of anti-magic and channeling it into his sword even more than it's already being channeled. He's just using more anti-magic. And that's the big thing about this, right? That's the big difference here, the big change that's happened with Asta. He's learned how to better control the anti-magic. He can use it to use the Black Slash, shoot it out of the Demon Dweller Sword. He can use it to fly on his Demon Slayer Sword. And not just that, he also has more experience. He knows what to do in these situations. Oh, a bunch of people are shooting the projectiles at him at the same time. Use the Demon Slayer Sword, just the flat side, reflect them all back. Oh, someone's trying to poison you? Use the Demon Destroyer Sword, suck out all the poison. You trying to hit someone before they have a chance to charge up their attack? The Black Slash, gone. There they go. And these are not weak projectiles. Don't sleep. Don't sleep on Asta. He is making moves. He's bossed up. Y'all are not ready. You think he bossed up already? Just wait and see. You will see. He's on his way up. And it's gonna be fantastic. I can't wait for everyone to see. And I want to see too. I want to see all of this animated. I'm gonna freak out. I'm sure everyone's gonna freak out. Thank you all for watching this little video. Actually, I don't know how long this video is gonna be. I'm basically just randomly, this is all unscripted. I'm just going off the top of my head. I love Black Clover so much. It's my favorite anime now and forever. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe if you think you would enjoy more of my videos. Let me know if you want more of this kind of video. I think this is the first video of this kind that I've done, this more analytical video. I'm not directly reacting to some episode or something. Let me know if you want to see more of these. And let me know if you want to see more Black Clover content or any other anime. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. I'll see y'all with the next video.